Go out there, and I want to introduce right now Jason Walters. Jason Walters is a top real estate agent. He's also the Jolly Green Giant. The guy's got to be 7 feet tall. I thought we had the basketball team. I thought the Lakers were standing outside when he walked up. Jason, have you ever played basketball?
You know, I did in high school.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
You had to be the center.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, what are you, about 6'6"?
6'5".
Okay.
6'5". You're a short 6'5" then, because I'm saying you're 6'6".
Hey, let's go with it. 6'6" then.
Or no, I should have said you're a tall 6'5". I screwed that all up, didn't I?
Yeah,
that would make him look like he's a little bitty guy.
Yeah,
he's only an inch
right.
tall.
No, he's...
Okay, there we go. So tell us about the real estate world that we're in today.
Well, basically, you know, still multiple offers. You know, on you're a buyer trying to locate a property, there's going to be 2, 3, 5, 10, maybe 20
That's
offers
crazy.
on a property.
Wasn't it just 2 years ago that if you put your home on the market, nothing was selling? You just sit there and watch the sign, get cobwebs all over it?
It sure is. Sure was.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it totally changed now.
Totally changed.
That's back to when I started
a much better
2004, 2005.
So you started in 2004, 2005 when this was still going on. Then you were there to 2007 when everything stopped and went to you-know-what.
Didn't sell a house for a while.
Okay. Yeah, well, I saw you at Target there. You waited on me on aisle 17.
You're a good greeter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you, by the way. So now you're back in it. Now things are hopping, and the only thing that's keeping you from just exploding is there's no homes.
Inventory.
Where are they?
Well, you know, they're about 85% of the homes right now are standard sales, so all the bank owns, they've all went away.
Well, where did they go?
Supposedly there's shadow inventory, but you know, I'll believe it when I see the
what does that
inventory
mean?
come
What
up.
does shadow inventory mean to me?
Supposedly they're holding on to properties, they can't foreclose on them yet, or
are they waiting for them to go up?
Probably waiting for them to go up. They're leasing them back to the people that were living in the properties.
Okay, because they don't want it empty. The last thing they want is an empty home.
Yeah, so they're actually doing rent backs for the people they foreclose on. They let them stay in the house.
Yeah, well, it's a smart move because as soon as it's empty, it's going to get completely...
Then it starts falling apart and...
vandalized.
Vandalized. Every single light that's in there is gone.
Windows broken and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
All the good stuff that was in there, any appliances, they're gone.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Okay. So keep the people in the house.
Keep the people in there.
Okay. Keep the people in there. Okay. So what are you seeing? Okay. You're a real estate agent. You've been out there. You've been at it for 8 years now. You've watched the highs. You've seen the lows. We're coming back a little bit on a high. Are we in a bubble again? Are we heading for another bubble?
Well, the difference now than before is the mortgages. There's no more stated income. So
you mean I didn't make $1 million that year?
No, you didn't.
Darn it!
So serious provability.
I got to actually show $21,000.
Yes, you have to actually approve. You know, get approved now. They have to verify your income. So that prices can only go so high because
there's only so many buyers that can afford that price.
Can afford that price range, correct?
Right. Okay. Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, you work for...
Keller Williams.
Okay, you're a Keller Williams guy, okay? And so if they want to talk to Jason, this guy is a stud, let me tell you. 6'5", actually 6'6", he doesn't even know it. But his phone number is 805-253-3232. Talk basketball with the guy, if anything else. I'm sure he knows something, But the reality is, this guy is, you can tell he's dressed in a nice suit and tie. Of course, his waistline is where my eyeballs are, so that's kind of weird. Maybe you should turn it in a different direction here, pal. But this guy is something special right here because I know Steve Kerrigan told me, he goes, when you get Jason in here, this guy is one of the better ones out there. He knows what he's doing out there.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so you're out there and you got multiple offers. What are people supposed to do? Just get crazy with this stuff? Or are you telling them, no, that offer's too high for that property?
Well, it's not all about price right now because appraisal's not going to come in. So you have people that are outbidding each other and just to not be able to purchase the property because the house didn't appraise.
Okay.
So it's not all about price. It's actually more about terms. They want to make sure...
What you're bringing to the table.
You need to close. And,
how quickly can maybe you do that?
Exactly. And if you think there are going to be appraisal issues, some of my buyers, I have them remove all appraisal contingencies. And they are going to pay the difference in cash.
Well, good for them. Yeah. Isn't that nice? La-di-da.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so that's a way to sweeten the offer. It's not necessarily just price-based, but value-based you're adding.
Well, value-based in terms and will you close?
Will you close? Because the last thing they want to do is have 20 offers. They take one, and that's the one that doesn't close.
Deal and there's
just a waste of time.
The guy submits offer too high. The appraisal comes in, and he barely has enough for his down payment. So either the seller has to do a dramatic price reduction, or the house goes back on the market.
Okay, so is there a way, when you're saying all this, and please, I'm not that intelligent on this whole thing you're talking about here, but isn't there a way of doing an appraisal beforehand so these stupid bids that are driving it up, you say, guys, we're outbidding each other. In other words, if you want 10, it's not going to appraise higher than $320,000. So let's take 20 bids at $320,000, and then we'll look at which one we want. Because just bidding at $325, $340, $350, $360, $370, it's not going to go.
Well, you know, if I list your house, I'm going to, you know, try to get more than appraised value. So I'm going to try to locate someone that will purchase the property for more.
And hope that the appraisal pushes up.
I will make sure they have the cash, make sure that they're willing to come up with the difference. You know, we'll put a max on it maybe, you know, up to $20,000 maximum. Or, you know, all cash. A lot of people are all cash right now.
So they're cashing out of a home.
If you're going to appraise it, you know, you might have someone that's going to pay more.
Okay, that's valid. Now, somebody wants to see these homes that are on the market right now. Homefinder365.com. If you go to that site, you will see all the homes that are for sale in Ventura County. You can punch in the community if you want to see Lake Piru, for instance. You know, you want to see that. You want to see Ojai. You want to see Santa Paula, Camarillo, whatever, Oxnard, Ventura. You punch that in. You want to see a 3-bedroom house? You punch that in. You want to see 3-bedroom, 3-bath? You punch that. It will give you the parameters, and you will see that home so clearly that when you call Jason, you're going to know what the home looks like before you even go over there. So you're not wasting your time, and you're not wasting his time. The two of you are on the same page and saying, this home is $575,000. You've already got a pre-qual for $600,000. You can afford this home. Let's go look at it because it's something that you want. But we're going to have to get on it quick. Because
in a week.
Because that sign is going to be pulled down. Okay, that's the craziness of this market right now. And the other thing I know when we talk here, that the craziness we see today may not be the craziness of tomorrow. Things change.
Interest rates went up.
Yeah.
So I anticipate that it's going to slow down just a little bit. It's still hot, but
it's still hot.
25% of the buyers are gone.
Okay, but you know, here's the funny thing. What are interest rates right now? 4.5?
Still low.
Okay, 4.5.
Right.
Still low.
That is so ridiculously low for a home. You're making one of the biggest purchases of your life, if not the biggest purchase of your life.
How many make a bigger?
And you're getting it at 4.5%, which is still the second lowest interest rate in the history of mortgages.
I feel like an old timer because when I started, I was 7. And I've talked to some agents.
My first home was 16.
Yeah, there you go. I've talked to some agents.
But it was a $57,000 home too. I mean, you know, so my payment was still only $400. You know, dear God, those days, $400 payment. Yeah, I'll go for that. Okay, once again, if somebody wants to get a hold of Jason Walters, this guy is a great realtor out there. You need some help. How do they get a hold of you?
Either call me 805-253-3232 or follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Jason_Walters.
Okay, and once again, you know, what's interesting is when you just mentioned that social marketing is so important now, isn't it?
I get listings all the time.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's a whole different world out there right now. It's not the brick and mortar building. You just sit in there and wait for people to walk in. They don't walk in. That's the reality.
I push a button, I contact thousands of people.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a whole nother discussion right there. I want to thank you for coming in today, Jason.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. You're listening, of course, to 805 at Home, and I've had Kevin Rock in here. Kevin, thank you for being part of the show today.
What a pleasure.